Hi guys, welcome back to Crow's Whisper Tarot. Today we're going to be looking at your love life over the next 3 months and seeing what might be coming up for you in that time. So let's have a look at all the piles. Okay, so here are the piles. We have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3 and pile 4. Take your time selecting the piles and skip over to when it begins. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. So let's have a look at your cards. There's some very exciting opportunities coming up for you guys off the bat. To start off with, I think you guys have been hyper-focused on your work and career and trying to plan out your life at the moment. That's definitely something that's coming up very clearly, is that you've been spending a lot of your energy on the future and things around you more so, and through the planning phase of your life. I think for you guys, you've definitely been someone who's been very strong with what you want to do in life and what you want to achieve. So ignore the birds. And also someone who is very sociable and spending a lot of time with friends and enjoying things over time and exploring new opportunities that come your way. You're definitely someone who is very adventurous and very good at spotting what you want and going after it. And I think that is something that you guys have worked really hard on, to change that mindset of going from, trying to push through and see what works and what doesn't work, to being really solid in your foundations of who you are. And that's definitely going to benefit you this year with your love life. To start off with, the person that potentially would be coming into your life in the next 3 months, I would say is someone who has gone through a lot of challenges and is someone who has evolved over time. They've definitely changed who they are with the 5 of Cups reversed here. And they've definitely pushed through with a lot of difficult situations and got out of situations, and is very good at coping with struggles and stress. So they tend to be a very calm person and someone who is very mindful of other people and trying to understand people's emotions and being more in tune to other people as well. With the Elder of Wands here, so this is similar to the King of Wands. This is someone who is very strong and passionate, definitely someone who has, as I said, evolved a lot over time, and is someone who is very good at understanding what it takes to grow as a person. It's not necessarily an easy way to look at things, but this is also potentially someone who has gone through an intense dark night of the soul and has evolved to a point where they are very true to who they are. They don't move away from their beliefs and the discipline that they have for themselves. They're very good at maintaining who they are in every relationship. And I think that's something that you guys definitely appreciate, is that you're used to being in control and understanding who you are, and are very good at portraying who you are to other people. And I think you do appreciate that this person is taking on that role of being someone who you feel is very stable in terms of who they are and their personality. With the Queen of Swords here, this person can be someone who is very intelligent, someone who definitely knows who they are and where they want to go in life. They're definitely a planner, I think, like yourselves. And they're someone who are very good with their words. And I think words of affirmation may or may not be your love language, but they definitely put in the effort of telling you, positive reinforcement for you, appreciating everything you do and vocalizing that. I think that's something that they've definitely very good at, is making sure that you feel seen and heard. And that is something that they've definitely worked on over time. The other card that came up for all the groups, including yourself, was the World card here. So this is definitely someone who I think you can grow and transform with. I'm not sure if it's because either yourself or them have had past relationships that were sort of toxic and not quite what they want. I think you definitely bring a lot of that positive side, and from their end as well. They feel like you bring a lot of positivity into their life, and also you're able to grow as people. And you also got the Sun card here, which is similar in the sense that you bring warmth to each other's lives, and it is almost the foundation of your relationship. And how you might know that this is your person is that when you're with them, you feel comfortable, you feel warm, you feel very safe in their presence. And it's something that I think you need as well, is that someone who not only is strong, ambitious, knows who they are, but that safety and that comfort level needs to be there as well. I think in past relationships you've ended up with some people who give you that intelligence and almost a cold aspect from that end, because you feel like they are very intelligent, they know what they want, they're business minded, but then you don't get that additional warmth that I think you do need. So this relationship definitely will give you that as well. It's also possible that you guys might meet on a very sunny day, just based on the Sun card and also the King of Wands card as well. I think you guys are very much an outdoor person, and it's very possible that you'll meet them outdoors. I think with this relationship, it's something that with the 10 of Wands here, it will take a bit of work to get the foundations right. I think it takes a while for both of you to open up and really express your inner selves very clearly. I think you're very good at surface level discussions initially, but then getting into the nitty gritty, so to speak. I think you guys sort of struggle with understanding how to express your deeper selves. And that includes discussions of trauma and trying to get to the bottom of your souls, essentially. I think you guys definitely might be endgame with the Lovers card here. There's a lot of strong energy coming from this group, and I feel like potentially if the hard work pays off, it's possible that you guys could definitely settle down with this person or be in a long-term commitment with this person. And with the Empress card here as well, it's definitely a relationship that you feel comfortable in, that you feel that appreciates who you are and sees your strengths, and you're able to bring out more of your strengths too. It's definitely a relationship that feels grounded and feels comfortable. And potentially for some of you, you could end up moving in with this person as well, with the sense of protection and a lot of that home garden energy that's coming through. Potentially you guys may also have kids with this person for some of you as well. But all in all, I think once you get out of your shell and delve into the deeper parts of yourself and be really good at trying to express those things and also work through any additional struggles that you may have. For some of you, that could be related to friend groups being one of the struggles that you do have with the Three of Cups that showed up before. I think you guys have really strong friendships, but as always, there's always friend groups where one person doesn't quite see eye to eye with the person that you're seeing, and so that might end up being where that sort of struggle is. But all in all, I see this as a very, very positive relationship that's coming through. The World card here. I think you guys have searched quite a bit to find this person, and the fact that you're having them in your life now is a very positive thing. So that is your reading pile 1. I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe to the channel so that I can connect to your energies a lot better and give you more accurate readings for what you need. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi pile 2, welcome to your reading. So let's have a look at your cards, which I've already laid out. So to start off with, you have the 8 of Wands reversed. Now, this means that for you guys, I feel like to start off with, in terms of love, you guys have really struggled to find a long-term committed relationship. I think you guys have always tried to go out and see as many people as you can, and nothing's really quite worked out the way you would have wanted. I see it as that you guys have put in a lot of effort. We're trying to find who is for you and who works for you, and trying to find yourself grounded in that sense. And it has been a real struggle for you guys to find someone who you can connect with on a deeper level. And similar with the Two of Swords here, you guys have been in a lot of relationships, but at the same time you're sort of unsure about what you really want in terms of the person that's coming into your life. And I think that's what's also holding you back a little bit, is that you haven't made up your mind as to who you want, or the type of relationship that would work for you, or, you know, the characteristics of this person that you would feel connected to. And I think that's something that you guys haven't quite got the grasp of yet, and you know, still trying to figure out exactly what's going to work for you. And that's something that has taken a lot of time, and it has been almost a slower process with trying to figure that out. I think the main thing for you guys is trying to realize that sometimes not all relationships are going to work out off the bat. It takes a lot of time, and you need to go on a journey for yourself and discovering what works for you and what doesn't work for you with the Eight of Cups here. I think you guys are still on this journey of trying to figure out who is going to work for you and what you need to do to really establish yourself. And there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel here with the World card. All the groups got the World card this time, but I think in your case it's more about trying to go through a cycle of figuring out what would work for you and what you want in a relationship. I feel like for some of you, a lot of people around you have been telling you, oh, you should, you know, look at this for this person and that for that person, and trying to figure out, you know, what they think would work for you. But the reality is the only person who can determine that is yourself. And I think for a lot of you, you've sort of been sort of pushed around with trying to figure out who you are, but what you need to do is go on the journey for yourself and establish for yourself exactly what is going to work for you. I think in the next 3 months, what is going to happen is that with the Elder of Swords here, you're going to get to a point where you're very clear mentally where you want to go in terms of relationships and what you want to do. I think the biggest struggle you guys had over time is that decision making, and I think the more you get yourself exposed, or the more you sort of explore what is in the sort of relationships that you would like, that is what's going to lead you to a much happier union. For some of you, I think you have been struggling with a lot of self-love, and I think that's something that has over time made it harder for you to really establish relationships. And what I mean by that is, if you're in a, you know, speaking to someone and they comment on your appearance, are you going to shy away from that, or are you going to be like, no, that's completely false, I'm not going to believe that, and the fact that you see me as that, I'm not going to think that this relationship is going to last? I think that self-love aspect is something that needs to come through a little bit more for some of you as well. It's possible that the self-love journey is what you're on at the moment as well, and trying to figure out exactly where you want to go from this point onwards. But the main thing for you guys with Capricorn here with Achieve is being headstrong with what you want, and being able to get to a point where you're really confident with what's coming into your life and what you would like. I think part of the reason it has been such a long journey for you guys is that sort of drive and motivation that is essentially Capricorn has been a bit slow paced for you guys. You haven't quite established where you want to go and who you want to be in that sense as of yet. I think the biggest thing that you need to work on is writing down exactly the characteristics that you would want in a person, and then seeing if any of them negate the other. I think what you guys want is a lot of things all at once, that part of it works and part of it doesn't, and you need to sort out your mind first of what actually works for you before you sort of decide and jump into where you want to go after that point. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is that there is 100% a person out there for you that will give you the world, that will give you joy, that will give you comfort. That is a given. I think just as soon as you make those decisions with the Two of Swords again for a second time, making the decision of who you want and writing it down and being confident in that response, which is surprisingly what he's doing there anyway. Being really confident and writing down and journaling what you want in a person, the type of relationship, you know, potentially also any other requirements that you may have in terms of appearance, religion, background, etc., or the type of life that you want to live with this person. Write it all down, because without that foundation, I feel like Spirit doesn't know what to give you. I think once you make that decision in the next 3 months, things will go very smoothly. You'll definitely find a lot more people to see and a lot more people who meet what you require and what you need in your life. And it's only until you put your mind into it and put the clarity into it that you can receive a lot more from Spirit. The other thing I feel like in terms of relationships, potentially for some of you, once you're on this journey, you might find what you think you want will be the complete opposite. It's also possible for some of you that what you need from a person is someone who is able to push you further than you currently are. And with Capricorn here, I think it is very much about being pushed and shoved. It's sort of like how goats sort of headbutt you every once in a while. It's that sort of feeling. I think that's something that you guys do need to look into, is someone who is willing to push you out of your limits, because I think some of you have just been in one mindset and haven't really shifted to a different mindset yet. And I think once you get that shift into what makes you tick and what makes, you know, the right person for you, and even if it's the smallest thing of, you know, I don't like people who snore, or I don't like people who, you know, always speak with their hands. It's a very different for everyone, but I think you need to figure out even the small details of everything to really get a good grasp of what you want and prioritize that as well. And that is the only way that you can really achieve a good relationship, is if you're solid about what you want. Because there's no way we want wishy-washy people in our life. That's not going to cut it. So just keep that in mind. But yes, that is your reading, pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the channel so that I can connect to your energies a lot better and give you more accurate readings for what you need. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. Let's take a look. All the piles have been really interesting so far, so let's see how we go. To start off with, you guys came out as the King of Swords. You definitely know what you want and how you want to get it. You're definitely very mind-centered rather than heart-centered in terms of what you want to achieve. And I think for you guys, the main thing is you guys don't feel like you've met anyone close to being in a strong connection with. I think you guys have had a lot of flings and a lot of short-term relationships, but no one who really spoke to your inner self or your inner child and brought out the fun, exciting side of your life. I think the main thing you guys have really struggled with was getting comfort and strength in equal measure from relationships. I think the type of relationships you always ended up with was someone who was very out of your world and almost the complete opposite of you. And that never really worked out in the long term. I definitely pick up that a lot of the times what you're sort of wishing for and the people you meet are completely different. And so none of the relationships have truly worked out so far. What I am picking up though is that someone is definitely coming into your life in the future who will bring you a lot of stability, but at the same time with this card here, deliberated. It's all about being out of your comfort zone and experiencing things that are uncomfortable, but in the long term really help who you are as a person and makes you grow even further as a person, which is really interesting because the card that came up for the potential person that you will be meeting in the next 3 months is the Four of Swords. So this is a person who, unlike yourself, who is probably very much in their head. This is someone who their headspace is very quiet. They don't have a lot of running thoughts. They don't have a lot of overthinking, anxiety, or even high energy levels even. This is someone who is just very slow and calm with how they approach life. And that's something that I think you guys have missed out on a little bit with previous relationships. I think the relationships that you had previously were very fast-paced but very uncomfortable, and that comfort level never came back to neutral, and I think you never adjusted to it. Unlike this card where even if it's uncomfortable, you're still able to ascend in the relationship and still able to find your place. I think you guys got a bit lost in previous relationships and didn't quite figure out what was working and what wasn't working for you. That's just something to keep in mind. You also got the World card, like all the other piles. The World card is all about someone who not only completes you, but someone who is able to go through multiple cycles with yourself and still come out the other end with you stronger. I think that's something else that you guys missed out on, is just someone who is able to achieve things with you. I think you definitely are looking for an equal partner, someone who can match your energy and really push yourself, and you pushing them makes, you know, both of you stronger. I think that's what you guys wanted, but that's not so much what ended up happening for you guys. With the Eight of Swords here, I think what you guys need to do is go into groups that are unlike anything you've dealt with before. I think you guys are definitely someone who sticks to one energy or one location and doesn't really move out of that. And that's great for, you know, being comfortable with your environment. But in terms of long-term benefit, what you need to look at is someone who can really push you. And so in order to get someone who pushes you, you need to go to places that are not so comfortable and unlike anything that you've gone to before. So if you're someone who is very much a homebody, going out clubbing, maybe not very comfortable, but it's worth experiencing different places. And I think that's something that you guys haven't quite got the hang of yet. I think you're sticking to places that bring you a little joy and comfort, but sometimes it's the new experiences that bring more to your life than the old ones. I think that's just something that you need to look at with the Ten of Cups here, is that looking at places that are different and that add to your experience and add to your potential even. I think you guys are just very much in your own head and sort of, I think you guys also have high anxiety, which is why this calm person coming in may be very beneficial to you. With the additional cards that we got, you guys picked out the Judgment card. This is all about figuring out exactly who you are, good, bad, and ugly, and also looking at, in terms of relationship, what is actually going to work. I think you guys need to listen less to your own head and focus more on your heart space. I think you guys, because you're so much in your head, you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you just sort of go through these mind cycles of nothing's going to work out, nothing's going to change. But the reality is, unless you put the effort in and change your perception of things and change how you see things, you're not going to notice any differences in your life. With the Death card here, it's all about trying to figure out exactly what is working for you and what needs to change in order for you to grow as a person. And I think you guys are sort of stuck in the same energy of, I know what's best. That is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to stick with that, and that, you know, things will work out. But the reality is you need to change your perspective a little bit more and really adapt to new situations. With the Queen of Swords here, so we've got a pair. This is someone who can match your intelligence and match it to the point where you guys will be partners in a team. But their energy is very different. They're focused more on longevity of things, whereas I think you're more focused on gaining more knowledge and gaining more information for the current state of things and for how things are running today, whereas this person is looking into the future and really observing what is coming into their life and experience from that end of things. I think you guys are on very different pages, but that's what makes it a really good relationship, is that you get those two perspectives. Because if you're both focused on one thing, there's no chance for you to have a relationship that you can grow in. And that's just something that you need to keep in mind. The one thing I'm picking up is that to gain new perspective for you guys, you should go on more walks as often as you can. Being in nature is something that you sort of have to do and have to go into, because if you're hyper focused on your mind, you would need to settle your mind to really see clearly. And as much as you guys think that you can handle things on your own, that's definitely not coming up at all in this reading. Everything that's coming up at the moment is really showing that you still have a lot of growth to do to get to a point where you can meet someone who can match your energy and match your potential, because being comfortable is not going to get there. You need to go through multiple cycles and multiple changes within yourself to make yourself strong enough that you can meet someone who can match that new energy. So it's not that you need to change 100% who you are. It's for you to grow as a person so that you can get someone who matches the same level of growth as you've gone through. And to do that, you're not going to find them through the same circles that you've always explored, because that's clearly not something that's worked out so far. Just something to keep in mind. So, pile 3, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the channel so that I can connect to your energies a lot better and give you more accurate readings for what you need. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile 4, and welcome to your reading. So let's have a look at your cards. Oh, I dropped something. So to start off with, I think you guys are someone who has had a lot of experiences with relationships and have gone and met a lot of people, but I still feel like you guys are a bit unstable with your dating life. I think you've had a lot of short-term experiences, but nothing has lasted long-term. the one thing I can see is that you guys still held on to a lot of hope. So we got the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords here. I think a lot of the experiences you have had were meeting people who matched your level of intelligence and matched who you are as a person. But the one thing is that nothing's really worked out, and I feel like you've been just, I feel like new in the dating sphere, but I think half of you have dated and broken up, and relationships haven't lasted, and some of you are just very new to relationships to begin with. But what I am picking up for this group is that is not a bad thing. I think you guys bring a very new perspective into your next relationship that is very positive, I will say, that is coming up in the next 3 months. The one thing I can pick up for you guys with the 8 of Pentacles here is that the person who's coming into your life has done a lot of work on themselves. They have really almost mastered who they are as a person and has worked hard with maintaining that. For some of you, this person can also be someone who is very much into exercise and working out and getting their fitness in. I think they're definitely someone who has that drive and motivation for themselves to grow. And also potentially with the B there as well, someone who definitely works more for the community and is willing to put in the effort for the people around them. We also got the Fool card here. So this is going to be a very different relationship from everything else that you've experienced. It's a new journey altogether. It is something that is very strong and motivating, and also a bit unknown. I feel like for some of you, this could be someone from a different country or a different way of living, definitely as well. It's something to keep in mind, because I think for a lot of the previous relationships you've been in, it's always been someone who was almost feeling a step above you. So you're feeling like you're always looking up at them, being like, oh, I wish I was at that stage in life. I wish, I had a car. I wish I had a house that I bought. I feel like there's a certain level of leveling up that person had over you, and I'm not sure if for some of you if they sort of ruled it over you or not, but I'm definitely picking up that made you very uncomfortable in the relationships you were in previously. But with this new relationship that's cropping up, we have the 6 of Wands. So a very successful relationship, something that is not only fun and stable, but also can give a lot of growth and perspective. I think you're both going to find the adventure very, very fun and exciting. And for all the groups, you also got the World card. So there's a lot of celebration, a lot of fun, a lot of joy. And for some of you, potentially a very long-lasting relationship that's coming into. It's definitely something that has taken quite a bit of time to get to that stage. But the main thing you'll find in this relationship with Sagittarius here, with Expand, it's all about going on different adventures, going to new places. It could be that some of you are studying abroad or wanting to travel, and you might meet them there, or in this relationship you'll have a lot of chances to travel and explore either yourself or just the world in general. You'll definitely get a lot more opportunities to explore all of that. And so a lot of fun and exciting times are ahead for you guys. You may find with this person that they have a very strong build, and also that they are someone who always looks into the future more so. So they're not looking at you at all. They simply want to look at their own personal growth as to where they want to be and where and who they want to be. I think that's the biggest difference between the previous relationship and this one, is that you're both going to be very much on the same page. So you're going to be facing each other very much and seeing the goals in each other. I think that's something that you guys have lacked in previous relationships to begin with, because what you're initially looking at is someone who was always looking away from you and someone who was more interested in themselves than you. And I think that's definitely going to change in this next period of the year. So, in terms of the person coming into your life, they are going to come towards you first. They're going to approach you first. That is a guarantee. This is someone who not only knows who they are, but knows what they want and is willing to go to any possible lengths to get your attention. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just think that they are willing to put in the effort to get to knowing you and to get you to sort of look at them with some kind of interest. The other thing I'm picking up is the King of Pentacles. This person is very much comfortable with who they are and what they have in life. They're not someone who is necessarily jealous of others and don't see others as competition. This is someone who is very grounded and knows who they are and what they want. They can potentially also live a very luxurious lifestyle, but with those trips as well that's coming up, that could also be possible. They might pay for some of your travel and trips that may be coming up as well. But this person is definitely emotionally very stable, very comfortable to be around. You're getting panda teddy bear vibes, obviously. And you guys also got the fairy god panda. This one is all about being in a state where the universe is really looking after you and keeping an eye out for you. I think this is someone who you are almost destined to meet and destined to be with. But that being said, unless you put the effort in to being confident in yourself and stable in yourself, instead of seeing yourself as less than or not good enough, I think the other thing that is coming up is that you guys may be not as confident with discussing what you want to other people or telling someone a definite no when they approach you. I think in terms of communication, you're a bit lacking in terms of expressing yourself with confidence and not feeling like the words you're saying don't make sense. I think that confidence is something that needs to really come through and shine. And as you're working on that confidence, it'll make it a lot easier that when you do meet this person, when, they ask you questions about yourself or want to get to know you, you don't find yourself shying away or shielding yourself from the conversation, because that's going to make you lose the opportunity to really get to know this person and for them to get to know you. So definitely try and be more open to meeting new people and being more vocal when you're interested in someone, or even when you're not interested, because that is the only way that you can really find who is working for you, is by having those conversations. I sort of get, this just came to me completely random, but it's almost like Twilight with Bella and Edward, where they just sort of sit in the grass and stare at each other in the movie. It doesn't really help the conversation. You don't really feel like they've connected, and it leaves for a lot of gaps in the future in terms of filling information in. And I think that's definitely something that you need, is someone who you feel stable with in all aspects. That's not just the comfort they provide, but also with what they tell you. And that's just something that you need to embrace and work on, is finding what works for you and really getting on top of expressing what you want in a relationship and what works and what doesn't. So, pile 4, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the channel so that I can connect to your energies a lot better and give you more accurate readings for what you need. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.